Good morning, everyone. This is Amy. Amy, yes. Oh, let me mute this. Hold on a minute. Good morning. Ooh. Do you guys like her? This is our newest family member. She is a Shiba Inu, and we adopted her on Tuesday. And don't let her very sweet appearance fool you. She is an absolute brat. She is crazy. Mr. Moore's upstairs. He's changing his shirt. Throwing out a quick disclaimer. He has had the flu all week. He has been sick, and he's still a little sick. So if he is quiet or looks a little green today, that's why. Thankfully, I haven't gotten sick, but we've made it a point to not be in each other's faces. Oh, what ads did you guys get? I didn't get an ad for my video. She might sit with me for a while, but she'll probably end up wanting to run around. Isn't she sweet? Yeah, she's very smart. She is extremely smart. But we wanted like all of the joy of a big dog, but without the big dog. And she'll get bigger than this, but she won't get a whole lot bigger. Here she is at full size. There's Mr. Moore. Isn't she cute? For those who are joining us for the very first time, we hang out for the first 10 minutes of every video just to give everyone a chance to log on and hang out. And today we actually don't have a topic. And we haven't done one of these in forever. And these tend to be like your guys' favorite videos where we don't have a topic and we just answer random questions.
Where's the phone charger?
It is upstairs in my office. So this is the first time that we've done this in quite a while. It's plugged into the extension cord where the printer is plugged in. All right, guys, let's see. Hi, Sharon, QuickBooks ad. Deborah, she is adorable. They are smart dogs. She's super duper smart. Let's see. Emma, I had the flu too. 10 days and counting. Yeah, he's been sick now since Tuesday night. He got sick and he was having like severe abdominal pain and he was throwing up, and he did throw up this morning too. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Otherwise he'll run away and run up the steps very quickly. Let's see. Karen, oh, how sweet. Yeah, she's a sweetie. She's a sweetie. And her name is Amy, A-M-M-Y, rhymes with hammy. And we named her Amy after my favorite video game character, who is from the game Okami, and the character is a wolf. So it's like my favorite game ever. And they just did a remastered version for PS4, if anybody's interested in checking it out. But it is a PS2 game. But this is Amy. She probably will only hang out with us for a few minutes. We're working on potty training her and all that good stuff right now, which has been going really well, surprisingly. She's actually doing really good with her potty training. She's only had like 2 accidents in the house, which for a new puppy, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And she was born, I think, in November. She's 4 months old. I think they said that she was born in November. So let's see. Good morning, sweet puppy. I hope Mark feels better soon. Hot lemon and honey drinks. Right now, he's having trouble like keeping anything down. So we've been sticking to like he had a big thing of strawberries. Do you want to get down? You want to go run around? Okay. Don't make any trouble. You'll be good. She might be good. She looks like a little husky. Amy! Amy! Come here! Let's see. What breed is she? She's gorgeous. She is a Shiba Inu. She is a full-blood Shiba Inu. She's got her little corkscrew tail. I love her little tail. Isn't she so sweet?
Yeah, go girl. She's a sweet lady.
The problem is she loves to be outside and she loves the snow. Thankfully, our backyard is fenced in. But when we take her out to pee, we cannot get her back in the house. And she's never been on a leash before up until, we adopted her. So when we put her on a leash for the first time, she was just flipping around like a fish. And I'm afraid she's going to hurt herself. So
turn the lights up and I still look like death. Look at me.
Yeah, you look sick. Your eyes are super dark. I told everybody already that you're really sick. And a bunch of people said they had the flu too. One person
I don't
said,
know what I had. I thought I had an organ failing because it was just like all in one spot for like 12 straight hours.
yeah, I was like, oh no, please don't be like his appendix or something. I really don't want to have to drive him to the hospital to have his appendix removed at like 10 o'clock at night. Let's see, is it Shiba Inu or part Shiba? It is, she's a full-blood Shiba Inu. Pretzels and Coke are good things in our house when you're sick. Let's see. I like when they get those fluffy cheeks. I'm hoping she gets big fluffy cheeks after she gets a little bit older.
She get along with the cats. She gets along with everybody okay. In a manner of speaking. Okay, yeah, the cats don't like her at all.
No.
And our poor little Chihuahua is scared of everything. So the first time that she got pounced on was not an experience she enjoyed very much. I had to comfort her for like a half hour because she thought she was being murdered.
Yeah, she's never.
She was scream crying. She was so terrified.
She's never been around a dog like bigger than her. Her only friends are my mom's Chihuahuas.
Now she's traumatized.
Yeah. For those who are joining us for the very first time, we hang out for the first 10 minutes of every video while we wait for everyone to get online. And we have 2 more minutes. Let's see. I got called into my 9 to 5, so I've got to come back and watch later. That's okay. Hello. Hello in the replay. Does she get along with it? Oh, you already answered that. All right, Itty.
Poor thing. No, she's just a baby.
She is.
She's fine. She wasn't hurt at all. She's just terrified for no reason.
She's always terrified.
She's scared of everything.
That's just Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are always terrified. I'm not really a dog person, but I want a Shiba so much. You know what? The crazy thing about Shiba Inus.
I don't know if this would be the dog for you.
Well, they said that Shiba Inus are more cat-like because they're so stubborn.
Yeah, but yeah.
You can talk right to her and she just doesn't even acknowledge your existence, similar to a cat. Let's see, Shiba.
You're looking way better this week. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. Thanks, though.
It's Paula. Yeah, you were sick last week too.
I was. I'm actually way worse this week.
Yeah, he's been ever since Tuesday.
It was hard. I was debating even being on here today just because
he saw himself, like he saw his face.
I went, oh God.
He said, "Is that what I look like?" I'm like, "Yeah, babe, that's like what you've looked like all week." And he's like, I asked him if he really wanted to do this because I was gonna sit and kind of just go solo, but that's okay.
I'm a cat person. I have 4 cats that I love. Now I'm just an animal person. There's not a whole lot of animals I wouldn't enjoy having. I like spiders. I like snakes. I like. I really wanted to get an otter. I tried to convince her for a while to let me get an otter because the requirements aren't that bad for them.
I don't want.
They don't need a lot of space. River otter.
They're cute, but I don't really want an otter in my house.
Did Ohio get the cold last? Yes, it did.
It feels.
Yeah, it did. It's what 11 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, but it says it feels like -1. So. Yeah. Take elderberry. My daughter is a PA. She even recommends it. OMG. Good afternoon. Oh, I want an otter.
They're a lot of work.
Yeah.
They're a lot of work, but they don't require a lot of space.
Oh, I've got a Shiba Inu, very stubborn, but super easy to house train.
We've had her for 3 days and she's almost housebroken.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's noon on the dot. Today, we're going to be answering your random Etsy business or whatever questions. If you have just random questions for us, you can ask those too. And we haven't done one of these since I think summer. And I wanted to do one like once a month, but I didn't want you guys to run out of random questions to ask us. So I haven't had one in a while, but I figured that this would be a good weekend because he's sick and we've just kind of not really, had time to think of a good topic this week. So you guys go ahead and start posting any of your random questions down below, and we're going to answer as many as we possibly can before he feels too sickies and we have to leave. Hello,
Starla. We're supposed to have a high of -2 this weekend.
Ooh, where do you live?
That's funny because it reminds me like, oh yeah, 11, you think that's cold. But here's the thing. I don't know if anybody's seen this on Facebook. It's been going around, the post from Florida for the news that said it was going to be 54, and they had all these warnings about how to dress their kids and this, that, and the other. Like 54, come on.
All right. We got some questions rolling in. I've not launched my shop yet. I make organic herbal tea and cooking spice blends. I'm wondering what's the best approach to marketing a launch for a new shop, and how soon should I start pre-launch? For a new shop, I mean, there's really no you should definitely stretch out that marketing because you have to gain a little bit of notoriety, and don't expect your first launch to go very well, because if people don't know about you and you don't have that, you know, that following yet, first launches are kind of a way to get it. I call them like the practice launch. You throw out those products, you get them in your shop, you have some time to experiment, to gain some people, some eyes on your social media and your funnels. And then second launch, you'll have more people that are actually looking. So right now, go ahead. If you say that you, let's see, I would start marketing just as soon as possible. You know, get people hyped and say it's coming. Show some teaser pictures. Show yourself getting everything ready, but don't actually reveal exactly what you're selling yet. And then, you know, just tease up until you're ready to actually launch those products. But like I said, don't expect that first launch to be a blowout, because it rarely is. Like, I have so many students who have six-figure shops, and they all agree that their very first launch ever did not go the way that they had hoped. But that's not a bad thing, because it gives you time to make, you know, small errors here and there, and you've got time to fix them before maybe like 100,000 people actually see any errors. So think of this as your practice launch. Just get it done, market, and, you know, kind of build that experience for next time.
I need ideas for marketing 3 months before launch. I've already done many sneak peeks and a color scheme roll. What else besides sneak peeks?
More sneak peeks. Tell them how excited they're going to be. I mean, there's really, the thing is, you don't want to reveal too much about the product. So sneak peeks are kind of the way to go. I do sneak peeks just nonstop before a launch. And, you know, you can kind of change the way that you do sneak peeks. You could do a blurry image. You could do just a close-up image. You could do a picture of yourself just like giggling, all excited, like, ooh, you guys don't know what's coming. You know, anything that you can do to really spike that curiosity with your fan base. But aside from teasers, you don't want to reveal what those products are going to be. I mean, you could give them a glimpse of maybe like one product. Every once in a while I'll do that, or I'll show one product from the collection. But if you're doing a collection, I wouldn't show off more than one product from that collection. And if you show off a product, make sure it's a good one, like the one that you feel represents your whole collection. Let's see.
What's your number one way to grow your social media following?
Number one way. Well, consistency, yes. Posting frequently, posting consistently. But for my social media following, do you have my free ebook that covers how to gain a fanatical following of fans on Facebook by hosting giveaways? And that helped me to gain over 25,000 fans for my actual Etsy shop's Facebook page. So if you don't have that ebook yet, you can sign up for that down below when you join my email list. And if you've already joined my email list, you should already have it. But if not, down below, you'll find the link to join the VIP club, the Handmade Alpha VIPs, and you'll get my free ebook right when you sign up. So be sure to sign up for that, and you can learn a little bit more about hosting giveaways to actually gain a bigger following for your social media. That's what I recommend, and that's how I did it.
As you begin your next launch, what does your daily, weekly routine look like 4 weeks after your prior launch? How many hours per day do you work on your Etsy business? As much as you need to.
Right. I mean, that's going to vary, because, I mean, it's going to vary for everybody. For me personally, I've been running my Etsy shop for almost 7 years now. So I don't work very many hours on my Etsy shop, to be perfectly honest, because everything that I do is so systemized that I already know what to expect. Now, when I was in my growth phase, I treated it like a job. I treated it like, you know, what is she eating?
Don't worry about it.
She's got a bun from something. She dug a piece of food out of the trash. Did she find a sandwich in the trash?
What head? She found a crunchy roll.
She found a sandwich in the trash. There's a puppy for you. But yeah, I personally treated it like a 9-to-5 job. I woke up every morning and treated that like my job. And obviously, if you have a 9-to-5, you can't do that. But dedicate as much time as you possibly can. And you just keep in mind that the more time that you invest, the more you're going to get out of it. In terms of, let me see, where was the actual... As you begin your next launch, what does your daily, weekly routine look like? I mean, obviously, I market my collections. I take a lot of pictures of my keys. I like to use the Instagram Boomerang app for sneak peeks, where it just kind of like shows, you know, like a little quick video. Do you guys know what Boomerang is? Look it up for Instagram. And then I used to use an app called Ripple, RIPL, for cool little sneak peeks and teasers. But honestly, it's just marketing. It's a lot of marketing and prepping and, you know, polling, sending out emails, getting engagement, and keeping people interested in what you're going to do. If you guys aren't already a member of my Art by Starla Moore Key Club, that's my actual Etsy shop's Facebook group. That's linked all the way down at the bottom of the description. If you want to join that and kind of observe, right now I don't have an Etsy collection coming out, but I am doing an experimental auction for some kind of like prototype keys. I just want to test them and see how much interest there's going to be. So I decided to auction them, and then whatever sells for the most, those are the ones that I'm going to keep making. But I've been marketing it. So you can kind of pop in there and check out my marketing if you're interested, and I will accept your request to join sometime today. But that auction actually is taking place today. So if you're coming in to observe, just be aware that it might be a little chaotic.
You can do this one, right?
Nope. Sonora K.
What do you do when your motivation goes away?
You're never going to be motivation. You're never going to be motivated 100% of the time. Here's the thing. And it's just like thinking of like, okay, tell me this, guys. Have you ever gotten excited for like a new, like you're going to do a fitness routine or a new diet, and you get like all the healthy food and you throw out all the junk food, and you get like planners and a calendar, and you get all excited and everything's all organized and you're like super duper excited, and you do it for a few days and it's really exciting. And then one day it's just like, oh, this isn't exciting anymore. And then you start to slow down, and then suddenly it's just not very fun at all. And then you stop altogether. That is business. I mean, that is life. There are going to be days when you're not motivated. The thing is, you have to push forward, and everybody has something that pushes them forward. For me, I like to listen to podcasts from people who are more successful than me. That's my favorite thing when I'm feeling really down. I have a couple people that I really, really like. I think I might have some resources. You guys might be able to view channels that I'm subscribed to. One channel I really like is, it's not really a business channel, but it's more of a mindset channel. It's called Charisma on Command. And I actually bought their course, not an affiliate. I haven't even finished their course because I haven't had time, but it's a really cool course, and it teaches you how to be a little bit more motivated, how to engage with people, how to be charismatic. And I bought that course before I started doing public speaking because I was so nervous, and it really did help a lot. And I love their videos. Sometimes I like, they do Game of Thrones breakdowns where they take all the different Game of Thrones characters, and they do it for lots of movies. They do it for like all the superhero movies too. But they take these characters and they break down like what makes them so charismatic, or for Game of Thrones, they did like what makes some people like so convincing. So they've got a lot of really cool breakdowns and videos that I highly recommend if you find yourself not feeling motivated 100% of the time. But just be aware that on those days when you're not motivated, the best thing to do is to just do it anyways. It takes, I think, 68 days to form a new habit. And like I've told you guys so many times before, it is forming that habit that will set you free, because once it becomes a habit, you no longer have to think about it. It's just like brushing your teeth, you know? Brushing your teeth isn't a chore because you just know to do it, right? Well, that's just kind of how business is. You just have to get it in your mind that you have to do it. You don't have a choice. And then once it becomes a habit, it doesn't even occupy a space in your head. You just perform. So, all right.
At what stage in our business should we consider wholesaling to boutiques? I find a site for artisans to be contacted by boutiques for bulk orders.
I've never sold wholesale because I like to stand as my own artist, I guess you could say, because I create such small batch pieces for such high prices that wholesales never really appealed to me. I make so much money doing it by myself that I just haven't really wanted to. But there's really no better time to start wholesale. I mean, there's no time that's better than any others. Just make sure that you're doing your research, you're researching the company, you have everything in writing, and you know exactly what you're going to be doing. But other than that, I mean, you could even start wholesale early if you're a new shop. That way you're getting some good sales, but start reaching out now. There's no better time, as long as you think that you have the ability to keep up with it, because obviously there's going to be a lot more product to be made if you're doing wholesale.
How often should you release a collection?
That's totally up to you. A lot of people prefer to do them once a season, so 4 times a year. I remember, Yeah, quarterly. I remember when I first started, before I knew anything about business, I was trying to launch collections once a month. And let me tell you, that was the most miserable thing that I have ever done in my life. And I know it sounds super exciting when you're new and you have lots of ideas and you just want to make as much as you can, but when you gain a following who expects you to have something new every month, it's really hard to recondition them to expect anything less than that. So it took me years to get my following to the point where I can launch 4 to 5 times a year and they're totally cool with it. So my advice is to just kind of wait until you're not seeing much more engagement with your current collection and you feel like you've squeezed as much juice out of it as you possibly can. I would say 3 months minimum. Like I would say every 3 months, or no, like maximum, I'll launch every 3 months. Does that make sense? Every 3 months, like max. Otherwise, you might end up finding yourself really burned out if your shop grows and you've got that fan base who's expecting new products all the time. Not to mention you won't have any free time for yourself. So that would really, really stink.
How often should I put my own products on my Instagram feed?
Every day. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Hurting?
Yeah, why wouldn't you show your own products? I mean,
after a day, nobody's going to see your last post anymore.
Yeah, I mean, unless they go to your profile. Here's the thing with Instagram. I mean, yeah, it's great to throw in some lifestyle photos and give some, maybe some real life photos of, oh, here's my dog or here's my cat. But you really want to keep your IG feed very product focused. And if you look at any of the major brands on Instagram, I mean, find somebody within your industry and look at what they're doing. Look how frequently they're posting. Look at what types of content that they're posting, because most of the time, even their lifestyle photos tie back to their products in some way. So my advice for Instagram would be, I would say once a day. If you're really, really trying to push your brand on Instagram. Personally, Instagram is no longer one of my primary funnels for my actual Etsy shop. It is for the alphas, but that's just because I can post anything. For the alphas, I post pictures of myself, my dogs, just random things, and you guys enjoy that. But for my actual Etsy shop, since Instagram isn't a primary funnel, if you guys follow me on there, just be aware that I don't post that frequently on there, and I don't get a lot of traffic from it anymore because I've kind of focused more on Facebook and my Facebook group as a primary funnel. So, but for you guys just starting out, really trying to gain that following, I recommend posting once a day.
How do you know how much you've made before fees and taxes? On the payment account, it says sales and credit, and the other is fees and taxes. Should I add these to know the total sale?
Wait a minute. Let me read.
It doesn't look like that for us. I don't think, does it?
Does anybody else have a good answer for that? Because without looking at it, I don't know if I could answer it. I would actually have to pull my Etsy shop up, but I do know that you can just download all of that. Like Etsy keeps all of that for you, and you can download it for your taxes.
I think they want to know like how much they're making per time. Like it's telling them a bunch of different numbers every time they make a sale, and they don't know how much they're actually making off of each individual sale.
Individual sales?
I think that's what they're saying.
I'm not sure. Without actually looking at my Etsy account, I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but if anybody knows the specifics of that and maybe could pop open their own Etsy shop and type a comment and help us out a little bit, that would be easier, because without looking at it, I don't want to try to guide you guys when I'm like blind right now, not actually seeing my own shop, because offhand, I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. Sharon.
I have a successful Etsy shop, had a pop-up shop for my second holiday season. This year, lots of people asked if I would open full time. So thinking about doing that again this spring. What are your thoughts about storefront shops?
Storefront shops. What do you mean by like pop-up shop? Like an actual, like, wait a minute. Had a pop-up shop for my second holiday season. Do you mean like in a brick and mortar, like a pop-up shop, like an actual shop? Or I'm not quite sure. I keep rereading this. I have a successful Etsy shop.
I'm assuming they're saying brick and mortar.
A brick and mortar or a secondary Etsy shop? Let us know, Sharon. Type that in the comments and let us know if you mean like a secondary Etsy shop. I will say that running a secondary Etsy shop, I never recommend until your first shop is like successful, as in turning an actual profit, because you might, at that point where you have a second shop, you probably are going to want to hire somebody or have an assistant who helps out. And that's not going to be possible if you're struggling with 2 shops. So if you already have one successful shop, that should be fine. You know, even if you're asking about a brick and mortar, this is all about your time. Like, it's not, I can't weigh in on if it's a good idea or not, because I don't know what your schedule's like. I don't know if you have a normal 9 to 5. I don't know how much time that you know, have allotted for your business. So when it comes to things like that, you really have to look at your life and think, wow, if this went as good as I could ever hope, and it was just very successful, and I had 2 successful shops.
What are you crunching on?
She's got something that's not food, something black.
What are you crunching on? I think it's time for you to go back upstairs.
Yeah, take her back upstairs so she can actually like chew on a chewy. She's teething right now. But yeah, if you have, you know, a successful shop, and what was I saying? Oh God, this is the worst. Like, but if you have 2 successful shops and you think that you can allot time for it, bottom line is go based on your capabilities, because regardless, you're going to need help. Let's see. My first real launch is nearly over. So far, it's meh, not nothing, but also not super successful. And that's how first launches usually are. But now I can't decide which pieces of the collection to keep. Give it a little bit longer. Just leave them in there. Leave them in there, you know, long enough for you to make a decision, because you don't want to get rid of something that could potentially do really well just because you currently don't have the funnel to sell it. You know what I mean? You can build the funnel later. So give it enough time to where you're actually seeing products move, and then you'll know which products to keep and which products to ditch.
She's not afraid of the stairs anymore.
Yeah. Let's see. We are right here.
You know, Squarespace or Shopify takes out sales taxes and keeps their customers updated on changes with tax law like Etsy does. We don't use it, so.
Yeah. Maybe if one of our alphas has an answer, feel free to type it in the comments. But we have never used Squarespace or Shopify, and I don't recommend them, only because in the long run, they are very expensive in compared to building your own website. Every year in the fall, I usually collaborate with Renee Christine. She has a really great course called Ultimate Architect, which teaches you how to build your own e-commerce website. That way you can kind of bypass those fees. And though obviously you do have startup fees to start a website, in the long run you end up making way more money because you're paying way less fees.
It's a little more in depth, but you still don't have to know any programming or anything specific.
So if that's interesting to you, be sure to follow Renee Christine on YouTube if you're not already like in her little circle, and watch for her course Ultimate Architect. And she usually offers discounts to the alphas. I just don't know when the next time we're going to do that is, because we just partnered with her to bring you guys that, I think, in October, and we probably won't do it again for a while. So just keep an eye out. It's called Ultimate Architect.
I have 2 collections in the pipeline. One is rear view mirror charms and the other is diffuser bracelets. Should I launch them together, or should I separate them? If I separate them, how far apart?
You would need to, I mean, what makes them similar? Because those are 2 very different products. Is it the materials that you're using? Do they look cohesive? Because ultimately when you're launching a collection, there needs to be something cohesive that pulls it all together. So what is the message behind your collection? To me, bracelets and let's see, diffuser bracelets and rear view mirror car charms are 2 very different things. There's not really,
yeah, even for just a single shop,
unless they both diffuse, unless you have like maybe your car charms are diffusers, and then diffuser would be the theme. But there needs to be something that's holding it all together. So otherwise, I would definitely launch them separately, but I would also really think about your business model in terms of what it is that you want to be known for, because with those being so different, like, what is the thing that you're known for? Are you known for diffusers? Do they diffuse? You know, I don't know. All right.
You see that?
Did they make their username Starla is fat?
That's wonderful.
Wow, that is amazing. I am so proud of your dedication. That is the coolest tater that I've ever seen. They actually made their username Starla is fat. I'm like, aww. I'm flattered.
Still doing your
Dom videos.
Oh, Bice.
Oh, Bice. Guys, look how fat I am. Look at my big, floppy, flabby arms. Look at all that fat. I'm sure our alphas know how obese I am. That's hilarious.
Now I got to go back through and find where we just were.
Oh,
Thanks.
man. You made my ear itch. They must be talking about me. All right.
Okay, here we go. I know you're making new swipe files, but in the meantime, can we get access to the old ones? I couldn't find any in my emails.
No, because I'm reworking them because people are making mistakes with them and people are going to get in trouble. So no, you may not have the old ones. Please let me fix them.
No, Shay.
No, Shay. Please let me fix them. I know that you guys want them. If you want to write your own in the meantime and you trust that you're going to be able to do it, I actually have a video that teaches you how to make your own. It's called 4 Messages to Send Your Etsy Customers. And I made that video last year, like early last year, but you can still find it on my channel. So make your own swipe files, put them together, type them out yourself, and make sure, this is like the big thing that everybody missed, don't send them by email. Don't send them to your Etsy customers by email. You have to do it in Etsy Convos. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. You cannot take them off platform, which is why I am revamping them and making sure that I make that very crystal clear, because I don't want anybody to get in trouble because of something that they took from me. So obviously, I did not make that message clear enough for everybody, and I want to make sure that I fix that before anybody gets in trouble for emailing customers.
What's the best way to do marketing? Promoting and Google options in Etsy marketing are eating up so much profit. Paying to upgrade your listings isn't necessarily marketing.
No, that's not really, that's
marketing is advertising.
Right. I mean, it's a form of marketing, but you need to get off the Etsy platform and direct people to Etsy, because when promoted listings are not a bad thing, but what you're doing is you are putting yourself alongside a lot of different options. So somebody types in, we'll say somebody types in, silver bracelet, and they see your bracelet alongside a bunch of other people's bracelets. And just because you paid for that placement, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be the one that they click. You just paid to be beside a couple more who also paid, right? So ultimately, what you should be doing is focusing a lot of that marketing energy on social media, where these people are they're scrolling, they're just minding their own business, la-di-la-di-da, and then they see your bracelet, and there's nothing else around it. There's no other bracelets around it. They just see your ad, or maybe you do a paid Pinterest ad, or a Facebook ad, or an Instagram ad, and they click direct on that link directly to your shop, and they don't see any of those other competitors that might otherwise steal your sales. So my recommendation is to build your actual following on other platforms, because those are the people who are going to be loyal to you. You don't have to worry about those people, buying from one of those competitors that pops up beside you, because you've already built that notoriety with them, and they feel that trust for you because you've been able to develop a relationship with them. And obviously you have to practice, communicating with your customers and showing a little bit of your own personality so they have something to grip onto. If you missed last Friday's Q&A, that's the one that you need to watch for marketing and showing your personality. We interviewed Paula Haas, who is absolutely amazing, and she has some really great Instagram prompts for you that she personally uses in her 6-figure business. And when I say 6 figures, she made $18,000 in November alone for her skincare business on Etsy. So, and she's got a website too. So between the two, but be sure to go steal her calendar or her cheat sheets, because she is a very valuable source of information. You can find that linked down below in the description in our last video. So hopefully
we got a lot.
That's okay. We don't have to answer all of them. Just,
I don't understand, if we do collections every 3 months, how to market a collection you just launched plus launch for a next collection. There's an overlap.
You're going to be marketing for that collection that you have. Okay, so let's say that you just launched a collection. You just launched it. You're marketing for that collection. If you're doing them every 3 months, then cut it off at like the halfway mark. You can still market that current collection and post teasers for the next one, as long as you don't start posting teasers like right after that first collection launches.
Don't oversaturate.
Right. So just divide it in half, and right when you get about to that halfway mark, you can start kind of throwing out a few teasers.
And there can be a little bit of overlap.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to keep marketing old products that are currently available. If you're talking about something that's not going to be available for several weeks, people who are ready to buy now want to know, what can I buy now? So you still have to throw out products that are currently available. That way they know what's currently for sale. Maybe they don't want to wait for that collection launch, or maybe they want to buy something now and see if they like it before they spend a bunch of money on the big collection launch that they're waiting for. So absolutely overlap it a little bit. But once it comes time to actually launch that collection, we'll say like the week before or 2 weeks before, really focus on the new collection itself, because, you know, you really want to get people like intrigued and ready to know what it is, like almost counting down. And what's funny is I'm falling victim to my own marketing. I've got a brand that I follow, this Civil Regime. They're launching some new hoodies on the 27th. And I know that it doesn't launch until the 27th, but I keep looking at their Instagram stories and looking at the models wearing the hoodie that I want and watching their marketing. So it just, yeah, I'm falling victim to my own marketing.
How often should we be posting shop updates on Etsy? Some say 3 to 4 times a day. Also, do you post upcoming collections in the shop updates? I asked as these are tagged to a product.
I'm really bad about updating my shop updates. There's really no right or wrong here. The thing about shop updates that I think a lot of people fail to remember is that they do show up right on your actual storefront page. I actually have a whole shop updates video from, I think, last year. If you go back into my videos, you can learn like all of my opinions about shop updates. I highly recommend going back and watching that. But as for frequency, that's totally up to you. I mean, I don't really see shop updates as a converting form of marketing, if that makes sense. What I do like about shop updates, though, is it gives me extra images to display on my storefront. So when you actually click on my shop and my shop is right there, those shop updates are there. So I like to make sure that those shop updates look really nice with whatever is currently vibing in my shop. And right now, I'm not a good example of that because I think I currently still have a Thanksgiving key featured. But in a perfect world where I didn't neglect my shop updates, I would make sure that those actually align with whatever products that I'm currently showcasing, and make sure that they're branded and pretty. And don't just recycle your thumbnails. I hate that. I hate when I'm going there to see like shop updates. If I'm going to them in someone's shop, I'm going there to see almost like an Instagram styled photo. I want to see something new or a new view or a lifestyle version of a product. And a lot of the times what I see is a picture I've already seen up in the listings, and I don't care for that. So I would make sure that you're just giving them an additional view. Treat it like an Instagram picture, or just recycle one of your Instagram pictures. That's what I do.
How can I make content about baby girls' clothes to grab customers' attention to go to my shop when I only had 7 sales in 2017? What type of content? And shooting product photos.
Okay, so think about your target market. What's something that your target market's going to find interesting? Obviously, if you're making baby girls' clothes, your target audience is mothers of baby girls. So what other things might mothers of baby girls find interesting or want to engage with? Maybe you could do a Friday post where you do like Friday discussion. What was share your birth story, and allow people to actually share their stories. Don't think about like market. You don't want to do that nonstop because people get sick of it and they tune you out. Paula Haas talked about this last weekend in our Friday Q&A. So be sure to go back and watch that. But you don't want to overdo it with the marketing because people get sick of it and then they'll start ignoring you. Give people a reason to share, or give people a reason to share a little bit of their own personality, or show off your personality. So I highly recommend going back and watching that video. But honestly, just think about your target market and the things that they're going to value. For me, I would say for moms, you know, you could talk about maybe making homemade baby food. You could talk about maybe like different fashion. You could talk about maybe like breastfeeding. There's a million ways that you could cater to that market for baby girls' clothing and still make it, you know, apply to your products. Does that make sense? All right.
I'm looking for an accountant, but I don't know where to start. Does it have to be a local accountant? And somebody already answered that question, says that they're an accountant. Definitely just make sure it's somebody you're comfortable with. I generally prefer people to have face-to-face, somebody that's local that understands your local laws and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. A lot of people that do it online, it doesn't take a lot of time for them to look up and see what they need to know for your particular case. So
right. And just a disclaimer, guys, I know that
we're not tax professionals.
Right. And we're going to be getting a lot of questions come, you know, tax time of you guys asking us, you know, best practices and yada, yada. We do not offer any tax advice,
Yeah,
because
most questions we can't answer.
Right, that would be a liability to us. We don't want to accidentally give you bad information. We do have a pretty good video with one of our students who is an accountant, that you can go back and watch. And I think the title of the video is actually, you know, maybe it's something about an accountant. Ask an accountant, something like that. So go back and watch one of our Friday Q&As, and you can find, you know, some pretty valuable information there.
Somebody asked about accounting software. They got answers, so we're not worried about that.
Yeah, we don't really have any advice because we have a personal accountant.
You're starting with an Etsy shop with no products to promote. What's the best way to promote a VIP group?
Let them know that they will be the very first to see these all new products, and they'll get a coupon code. Like, let them know that because they signed up, you know, you could even call them like beta access, get access, you know, get to see this new collection with an added discount before anybody else. You know, market it that way. Make them feel like they're getting something really, really special. Otherwise, they're not going to join because they don't really know what they're joining for. They don't know what the product is because it's not out yet. So I would definitely position it around, you know, like a beta group or early access, or, you know, exclusive VIP sneak peek of what's to come. Just make it kind of mysterious. That way they feel like they need to join to figure out what the cool mysterious thing is.
How can I auction in Instagram? Any tips?
Auction in Instagram?
You don't do that.
I don't do that.
I don't know anybody that does that.
I've never seen anybody auction on Instagram, nor do I know
sure
if it's
possible.
I don't know if it's allowed.
Yeah.
That might violate their.
I mean, Facebook doesn't like it. That's why we always get in trouble when we do ours.
Well, we don't do auctions. We do our pre-sales.
Yeah, we do our pre-sales. We're working on
I really like eBay for auctions. I have a fan base. You guys got to consider I have a 25,000 plus fan base for my Etsy shop. But my auctions on eBay, as long as I market them to the same extent that I market, you know, Etsy products, they usually do pretty well. So look into eBay if you're worried about it. You could always post the pictures on Instagram, but then have the links lead to eBay.
An Instagram influencer has offered to trade one of my products for 2 features on her page. I'm excited but not sure how to go forward. Should I ask them to follow me or join my email list, offer discount?
My big thing would be to make sure that you're actually looking at their target audience to make sure it's worth it.
Make sure there's somebody that's actually going to be interested in what you sell,
yeah.
And to verify that they're actually an influencer. Because a lot of people like to call themselves an influencer, but a lot of their followers are bots.
Right. How many followers do they?
A lot of people do that just to get free stuff.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Look at how many. So look at their account. Look at
their other social media. Look at their Facebook. Look at their Twitter. Look at everything that they have and make sure if they're actually an influencer, it can be a huge help. If they're a botter, then whatever.
Yeah, and I would say look at their past posts where they've promoted people, and look at how many people have liked those posts or commented, mainly comments. If you see, you know, lots of other products on their accounts, but there's only like 50 likes or, you know, 2 comments on it, then it might not be worth it. So just be cautious. All right.
I have troubles with Instagram. Most of my target market is on Instagram, but I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall. I get likes, but that's about it.
Test. If what you're doing is not working, then change what you're doing. I mean, that is the best piece of advice that I can give you. Try something new. If you've tested it for like 60 days and you're not noticing a whole lot from it, try something else.
Sharon Crawford, she responded back, yes, a store, a shop.
A shop.
She said, I have an accounting business and my Etsy shop, so I'm the boss.
Okay, so once again, I'm not going to tell you it's not a good idea. Just make sure you have the time for it. Like I said, I don't know what your schedule's like, and I don't know how much free time you would like to have in a day. But if you don't feel like it's going to consume a lot of your time and you have the ability to keep it stocked, then absolutely go for it. There's no reason not to. And if it doesn't work, you know, you don't have to keep doing it.
How to get started with any fans. My Facebook friends, most are strangers in common groups, but these are definite target market. But how to get them to my business page or email list without spammy inviting?
I highly recommend starting an email list is a really great way. Start an email list using MailChimp.com. And when they sign up, make sure that you set it up to send them an exclusive discount code. I do not have any tutorials on how to do that, but Renee Christine does have a MailChimp setup tutorial.
They're mainly asking how to get them onto those without seeming spammy.
For marketing?
How to get them to their business page or on their email list without inviting or seeming like they're spamming them.
A good place to, a good place to start is Facebook groups that are kind of related to your products. If you're able to find, any Facebook groups that align with products, or I would say the most value that I found when I was promoting was to find groups that were more focused around my target market. But then what I would do is I would host giveaways, and I wouldn't necessarily promote products in those groups, but I would pop in and be like, hey, not trying to sell anything. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm giving away this really cool necklace. If you're interested in checking that out, admin, please delete if not allowed. And I would throw that into just a bunch of different groups. And that's how I ultimately grew my email list. And like I said, if you have not grabbed my free ebook, that is linked down below. When you sign up for the Handmade Alpha VIPs, you get that. And that teaches you exactly how to gain that fanatical following of fans by hosting giveaways. But I highly recommend giveaways, especially if you throw in there that it's not required, because you can't require people to share it. It's not required, but you would appreciate, and it would help you a lot if people chose to share it. You just have to word that, really well. That way Facebook doesn't pick up that they think that you're making people share it. But if you just tell people like, hey, it would help me if you did, then that's totally fine. So I would highly recommend that, because then a lot more people are actually going to see it. Or you could even run an ad as long as you don't have a lot of text on that giveaway.
People on Etsy who string you along for an order for days, asking multiple question conversations, changing what they want when you're ready to create the order or the custom order, I need to think, should I report it or let it go?
You can't report it. There's no, that's not reporting. You can't just report someone for, doing that. But
you're going to deal with crappy customers. That's just kind of how it is.
Just tell them you can fire your customers. Don't feel bad about that. Yeah. And they can't leave a bad review if you don't sell to them, and you do not have to sell to them. So just say, hey, I've been thinking, and I'm really worried that I don't think that I'm going to be able to make you happy. And that is my goal. But my concern here is that no matter, what I create, I just don't think I'm going to be able to align with what you had in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel your order or cancel your transaction and send you a refund. But maybe refer them to somebody else, like refer them to somebody, just send them to someone else. Say, hey, here's another shop who also makes these, and make them somebody else's problem. Make them like a competitor's problem. I will gladly send somebody who wants something crazy to one of my competitors so they can go bug them, just so my competitor can deal with it, because you don't have time for that. Time is money, and some people are just too picky to even cater to. And the thing is, when they receive that product, odds are they're not going to be happy with it, because they were so picky and they got their expectations so high. So it's never bad to fire a customer. Don't feel bad about it. You're allowed. I do it.
Vanessa said that Shopify doesn't get expensive, not that she's seen.
Okay.
Cool. And then somebody asked about WooCommerce as well. It's generally just better to have your own website.
WooCommerce you can use with WordPress. But Renee Christine actually has a full breakdown. I think you can find it if you go to her Facebook page. It's like by Renee Christine is her Facebook page name. You can find the full list of expenses for Shopify versus Weebly, I think versus Wix versus building your own. And she's got like the breakdown of all the costs. Obviously, that's not like my course. I don't have all that memorized. But if you go over there, she does have that breakdown if you're interested in looking at it.
If we're starting a shop from scratch right now, which of your videos would you recommend starting with first?
I always recommend starting with my video note-taking for business owners, because that's going to lay the foundation for your research. And from there, it really doesn't matter. I would highly recommend my iPicky training series, which will teach you how to edit your product photos. That's a really important one. But yeah, note-taking for business owners first. And then I would follow that up with the iPicky training series. That is probably my most valuable video series. And my mic was really bad. I recorded it before we had a professional setup. I wasn't nearly as confident. You could tell by my voice that I wasn't as confident, but that series is still my most watched series. And you can find the full playlist for that by going to my channel, clicking playlist, and finding the one titled, I think, like photo trainings or something like that.
Everyone says you need dream clients, but no matter who I listen to, no one tells me clearly how to actually do it.
Dream clients are your target customer. Your target customer is the person who would ideally use your product. So you don't invent a dream customer, like you don't make them up. They have to really exist in the real world. I can't just say like, oh, my dream customer, I want to sell to a girl with purple hair and 6 cats, and she goes to college and she likes, I don't know, she likes Harry Potter. You can't just make them up off the top of your head. You have to make sure that they fit into a vision. So think about your product in the world that your product could potentially fit into. Think about the type of people who would be buying that product, and think about the other things that they're interested in. Not just your products, but think about the type of home that they live in. What is their lifestyle like? How old are they? What do they wear? What does their home decor look like? What type of car do they drive? How much money do they make? Those are the things that you need to do when outlining dream customers. And that's just like a very brief start. And I do have a couple target customer videos too that you can go back and watch.
I have quite a following on Facebook, but barely anyone comments or shares. Any recommendations?
I would recommend looking at what your marketing tactics are. I mean, are you just marketing? Are you only throwing out pictures of products, or are you also posting things that are engaging that people are going to be interested in actually commenting on? People generally don't comment on product photos. In fact, I follow a couple major brands that post pictures that don't receive any comments at all. So don't aim for comments on product photos. Think about the things that are going to genuinely interest those people. And once a few people start commenting, your engagement for that post will go up a bit. So more people are going to end up seeing it, and more people are going to engage with it. And if all else fails, if you already have that following, pay for Facebook ads, because then you're going to be able to reach more people who already like your page. There's my advice.
Aside from promoted listings, what other ways do you use to drive traffic?
I feel like we've answered this already.
I think we kind of have.
So you don't just want to market inside Etsy. You might want to go back and watch the replay where I talk about where
you did already answer
where you're placed in a search. Focus on external marketing. That's where you need to be. External marketing is going to take people who are not just, who are not looking at all the competition in a search page. They're only going to be looking at you because you sent them to your shop from another outlet like Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platforms. Does that make sense? So don't just rely on promoted listings. You can't just have one marketing source. You have to have multiple.
I need advice on where to start for Pinterest help. I have so many views daily from Pinterest, but I have no idea what I'm doing there. And one goal for 2019 is how to use it better.
I will admit, I'm not a Pinterest expert. I use Pinterest, but I only know what I know about Pinterest because I followed a course by Renee Christine called the Pinterest Academy, which is not open. And we actually just did a partnership with her to open it for the alphas a couple months ago. Or yeah, it was like 2 months ago. So I don't know when she's going to open that back up. Honestly, Pinterest is one of those platforms where you need to be frequent. You need to follow people who are going to actually repin your product. My big advice for Pinterest, though, is to just look on YouTube for people who know more about it. I'm more of like that Etsy guru, and Pinterest isn't one of my primary marketing funnels, but I do know from experience that frequency and creating a really good atmosphere on Pinterest are important. And try to avoid pinning a lot of photos that have like too much text on them. Pinterest is very aesthetic. People like to see pretty pictures on Pinterest. So make sure that your photos are top notch too. I think that that's very important for Pinterest. My prettiest photos get pinned all the time.
If you're pulling out old collections and you have 10 to 15 signature products, does that make Etsy SEO less likely to find you since you have a smaller number of products available in your category?
Here's the thing. There are technically shops that have thousands and thousands and thousands of products do usually rank higher. And there is a very detailed explanation in Handmade Alpha Academy as to why. Handmade Alpha Academy is not open right now. It will not be open until this summer, but I could never explain it all because it took us forever to figure it out. So I will say that those shops technically do get more views, but you're really doing a disservice to yourself by having 1,000 listings in your shop, because I know from experience when I go to we'll say like a designer jewelry shop, and and I click on that shop and I see a beautiful, we'll say a ring. I'm really excited. I want to buy it. I click on their shop and I see that they have 1,000 listings. First questions that come to mind are, okay, these are handmade and they all say that they're made by Julie. How is Julie sitting at her house making 1,000 of these suckers with stock to go behind it? Oh, these are probably knockoffs from China. And that might not be the case, but that's what my mind says. The other thing is, how many people are actually going to sit there and scroll through all, 60 pages of your 1,000 items? Probably not 60 pages. I think it's 24 items per page, but you get the picture. So my big piece of advice there is, yes, your SEO is going to be higher the more products that you have, if you're good at SEO to begin with. But you can also gain the exact same notoriety by making repeat sales on a singular product that you create over and over again, which is what I do. So I've never had more than 50 products in my shop ever. And I'm always on the first page for my keywords. So you don't have to have thousands of products in your shop, nor do I think that that's a very wise choice for you either, because you're going to get really tired. That's a lot to maintain. And it would be expensive.
Any primer for Facebook you would suggest, something to help me feel more comfortable using it for my shop? Primer? Primer
for Facebook? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, Karen. You might need to reiterate that. Primer for Facebook. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Reiterate, Karen. Let me know what you mean.
I started my shop on November 29th of last year. In the end of December, I did 15K in sales.
Ooh.
My shop is made of 15 ideal gift-giving items. Now that it's January, I'm down to 3.5K sales per month. That's really good. What would you suggest I do going forward to expand and grow, given the type of items being sold in my shop?
Think about the next holiday. What's the next holiday? How can you cater to the next holiday? How can you keyword
yeah, there's
optimize?
Holidays all year, yo. Keep in mind, like, worldwide holidays too. Look at your demographics and stuff.
Yeah, and keep in mind right now, everybody's seeing a drop in sales because people are broke from the holidays. I'm just now.
Most people. Some shops don't.
Yeah, right.
Makeup and stuff like that.
Right.
Skincare usually stays fine.
Yeah, I'm finally picking back up right now. Because of Valentine's Day, but it's a little late to start creating products for Valentine's Day.
Way too late for that.
Right. But because of Valentine's Day, my keys, because I make key necklaces and, key to my heart, that's going to be popular for Valentine's Day, regardless of what the theme is. So I tend to pick back up, right around February, but everybody kind of tanks in January, just depending on what type of product that you sell. So I wouldn't be too worried because it sounds like you're freaking doing amazing. I've never heard somebody start a shop and make that many sales in such a short time frame. So we might need to do an interview with you at some point. That is crazy.
Karen responded and said, like, cliff notes. You mean like notes, like the ways to start posts and stuff on Facebook, I'm assuming is what you're saying? That's kind of something that you have to learn for yourself and how to talk to your audience. We wouldn't be able to provide you with something like that because it wouldn't be, we don't know your product, we don't know you, we don't know how you talk, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused by what.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused.
Wait, we can put photos and shop updates?
Yes. You can. I have a video on how to do that. If you go and just so everybody knows, shop updates now have changed a little bit. Let me pull up my Sell on Etsy app.
Don't do it.
Shop updates are now in your tab titled, can you guys see right here? They're now in the tab titled Social Media. And then you can scroll all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
Shop updates.
Karen said more for knowing how to use Facebook itself.
It sounds like you might want to get a cheap course on a site like Udemy. That's Udemy. Udemy courses they're like the crappiest, cheapest. Like, you could probably find better information on YouTube or find the same information. But if you want it all in one place so it's not all scattered around, go ahead and buy a Udemy course. I've taken a lot of Udemy courses and some of them are okay, but
they're hit or miss for sure.
I've spent more money than I think that it's even been worth. But for Facebook, it should be pretty straightforward. Find a cheap Udemy course. I think that they're having a sale right now. Get one for Facebook. They've got a couple free courses too.
I think honestly, when it comes to social media, don't think about it too hard. Like, what you see is what it is. There's not like a secret art to it. Like take like a day or two.
Study people in your industry.
Right. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I think how to use Facebook is the confusion. Go through the menus, click on everything, look and see where everything goes. If something sounds confusing, don't click on it. But just work your way around and get to know the system. It goes the same with any other style. Instagram, like anytime a new social media comes out, no one knows how to use it. It takes time you have to kind of goof around with it until you figure it out.
Right. And a big thing, I think a lot of people they get, scared that, oh, what if I mess it up? You really can't mess it up.
Just don't click on anything that says delete my profile and you're probably okay.
Right. You can usually fix pretty much anything.
Yeah, just read before you click. That's about as easy. That was always my grandma's problem. She would always click on things without reading the whole thing.
What I should have Nate make a video on. I should make him make a video on how to use Facebook.
There you go.
We've got a business partner who's learning how to use our editing software so he can start editing our videos for us. But he wanted to make a video for you guys to kind of practice. So maybe we'll make him do it. Do you guys want to like a how to use Facebook? Is anybody so like out of social media that they need like a how to use Facebook or a how to use Instagram or a how to use Snapchat video? Let us know in the comments what social media platform do you know nothing about, not even a little bit. You're afraid of it, you don't want to touch it because it's so scary that you need like a young man to explain to you, and maybe we'll make Nate do it.
Okay, lightning round. We're all the way up here.
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes. Let's go.
7 minutes. What's the latest view on free shipping? Do it if you want to.
Yeah, do it if you want to. I've tested it both ways. I only do free shipping now for US. My sales there was no significant difference in the number of sales that I got versus when I charged for shipping. So for me personally, I haven't noticed a difference. That's just my shop. Feel free to test it if you think that it's worth it. But if you don't think that it's worth it, don't do it. I mean, it's totally up to you.
Is it okay to give a discount code to someone to someone who took the time to review?
I don't think that you're allowed to do that. I don't think that after they send you a review, you're allowed to contact them with a discount code. You could put a discount code in.
Right, because it's not transactional.
Yeah, that's not a transactional message. So I think that violates Etsy's terms of service. What I would recommend doing is add an insert into their package with a discount code, and that would be okay.
Okay. Top 3 favorite business books. Head on over to Facebook. Go to the Handmade Alpha Academy.
Handmade Alpha Facebook community.
Holy crap. That's the same thing.
No, the Academy one is closed. They can't get in that one. Michael!
Go to the files section, and there's a document in there. It has the list of all of the books that we recommend and all of the tech and all of that kind of stuff.
And nobody knows that exists. We have like all the books that I've read and all of our affiliate links for our Amazon affiliate program, which 100% of the money when you guys buy a book direct from those links, like you have to click it and actually add that item into your cart, otherwise it doesn't count. But we had planned to donate 100% of our proceeds, 100%, to the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York, who we frequently donate to. But we haven't even made enough sales in there for them to actually send us our first payment because nobody knows it exists. So Handmade Alpha Facebook community, it's linked down below if you're not a member. Go to the file section, find my library and resources guide, buy with those links, and we'll get a small commission that will help benefit the wolves. I should say that more. I always forget.
I heard a lot about Rafflecopter not working in December. I wasn't ready to do my first giveaway at that time. Now I am. Should I use Rafflecopter or something else? What's the latest?
Rafflecopter is working now. I talked to Rafflecopter support almost every day.
And they weren't very smart.
They had no idea what was going on. They were like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, nobody told me.
Yeah, they were.
Our whole platform isn't working, but nobody knows.
Yeah, they had no idea.
What?
But then one day it was suddenly working again. So just be careful with how you word it. I don't think that it's the link itself that was getting the giveaways blocked. I think it's the way that people worded their posts for the giveaways. So just be careful with how you word it.
No, you don't want their custom within the first few minutes, whatever that means.
No,
I had the replay. Yeah, okay, got you. By the way, the word Wix sounds like a not safe for work word in German. Do you want me to say it naughty? Wix. Best I Picky training changed my life.
I Picky training series is our most popular,
Yeah,
and it's free. It is free. Okay.
When you host a giveaway exclusive to your email list, what are the requirements for people to participate? Would it just be signing up? Would signing up be enough? And what if not everyone on your list opens your emails?
I don't think that you can. You can't. Wait, are you trying to only give the giveaway to people? You're trying to get people on your list by hosting a giveaway? Because you can't make signing up for an email list a giveaway entry. It's actually against the law. You can't do that. You can put it in like as a bonus entry. I do it. I say, hey, if you want to, you can get a discount. You can claim a discount and get a bonus entry by joining my email list, but it's not a requirement. You can't require them to join your email list as a giveaway entry. It's not allowed. And if you're asking about holding a giveaway just for people in your email list, I've never personally done that because giveaways should be used as a funnel to get people on your list. I mean, unless you just want to spoil the people who are already on your list, I guess that would be okay. I can't really give any advice on how to structure that because I've never done it. And that might take some figuring out on your end. But I would recommend doing a public giveaway to get people on your list by offering them a discount code if they choose to join your list, which you can do that using Rafflecopter.
What if my target market has no interest in subscribing to an email list? That's not really how that works. Most people want to receive emails for the things that they want.
Right.
Unless you're targeting specifically people like over the age of 70, most people probably don't have a problem joining an email list.
No, and even people in their 70s, like they're less exposed to that form of marketing. Like they might think that it's the coolest thing in the world. My oldest, like
generalizations, nobody get offended at that.
Yeah, my older client base, like they love my emails. Like they think that I'm talking just to them. They message me back. They're like, hey, Starla, I'm so happy to hear from you. Like they're so touched by it. So if your target market doesn't want,
or if they're blind,
are you just guessing that they don't like to join email lists? Because maybe it's not that they don't like to join email lists. Maybe it's just how you're marketing your email list. Because everybody joins email lists. Email lists make up the world.
All right, I'm gonna do one more.
All right, last one.
We got 2 minutes left, but this last question. My soldered gemstone jewelry is not getting found on Etsy. I have at least 50 more pieces to list. Do I stick with Etsy or move to the Handmade at Amazon? Don't do Handmade at Amazon.
Well, I mean, you might be successful at Handmade at Amazon, but that's not Etsy. It sounds like you have an SEO problem. It sounds like you either have an SEO problem or you're being found, but maybe something is keeping people from actually clicking those listings. You're moving platforms isn't going to do anything. You can't just bounce around platforms and expect that that's going to be the problem. I mean, that would be like, oh, I've got asthma. I'm going to move to Alaska so my asthma isn't bad anymore. No, you need to treat your asthma. Does that make sense? So moving around probably isn't, I mean, if you're going to open a Handmade at Amazon, do it because you want to, not because you're trying to find, a greener pasture, because that's not going to happen. Look at the problems with your own Etsy shop and get some feedback. Feel free to post your shop link in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. Just throw like a disclaimer. Hey, I'm not advertising. I just need some feedback. What are your opinions on my shop? How can I improve? I don't mind if you guys post your shop links as long as you're doing it in a constructive way and you're not like, hey, here's my shop. Isn't it cool? Because I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing when you're doing that.
All right, that's it. Are you a fan of Amazon Handmade? For one, I'm not a fan of Amazon at all as an organization.
All right, so there's a lot of sellers that make money on Handmade at Amazon.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. It's not impossible.
Keep in mind that customers on Amazon are Amazon customers, and they're not going to have that handmade mindset the way that Etsy sellers do.
They're not.
They're going to leave you worse reviews. They're going to be crabbier, and they're going to expect this pristine factory-made product when in reality,
that's not how handmade products work, and you know that.
Yeah, so I actually did have a Handmade at Amazon shop. I think I made like 20 sales from it before I decided to close it because ultimately it was just taking up too much of my time. And
if you've got the willpower to withstand the crap that is Amazon and the people that shop on Amazon, all to you. You can have it.
Yeah, the people were the absolute worst.
For some people, it's not going to be that bad. I think it's going to depend. Like if you make maybe healthcare products or skincare, that kind of stuff, it's probably not going to be so bad as long as your stuff doesn't smell gross.
And Amazon forces you to return everything.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
you're going to get the old Bezos.
Sales are great. Reviews are ouch. Let's see. You're making me smile with the HA stuff. All right, guys.
Right.
I hope that you guys have an awesome weekend. Hopefully, Mr. Moore is feeling better by next Friday, and hopefully,
God,
you guys.
I hope so. It's been like 3 straight weeks of just being sick. I'm sick of it.
He's bouncing from different types of sickness. Last week,
I had like a cold, and then I had like a chest infection, and then I got whatever, almost died the other night. That was awful.
I bought him some vitamin C gummy vitamins. Maybe they'll make you feel better. All right, guys. Have an awesome weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.